Hey guys, today I'm going to do a video on tearing down this transmission on my lawnmower. It's an older MTD. As you can tell, the bearings, your bushings are shot inside there. It was all over the place. And we got grease leaking here, the shaft inside it. Well, at this point I got the transmission off. I didn't go into detail on how to do that, but this is also a note to myself when I put it back together how everything's hooked up, because this is, to be honest with you guys, this is actually the first time I've ever done any transmission work on one of these lawnmowers. I took one apart one time just to see how everything was in it, and I'm sorry about the background noise, but it's pretty hot here in the garage. I got the blower on. This ain't exactly going to be a how-to video, but just more or less a video on what I'm doing. There's some of the parts I got. There's the oil seal. There's two of them. You get various bearings and bushings. They're actually plain bearings. You can see most of these are made out of brass, but these over here, these are actually steel. And that's the ones for the end right here. And this is the grease I got for it. MTD recommends a grade 0 grease. That's a number 2. I figured it'd be probably better, really. I couldn't find any grade 0 grease without special ordering it. Okay, this is the shaft joint. As you see, it's got a keyway in there. I'm going to try to keep that in there. It's got just a little bit of play in here. There's 2 needle bearings in here according to the diagram, and they're about $10 or $12 a piece, and I figured it probably wasn't too bad, but if I ever get problems with it, I'll replace it later on. For now, I think I can get by with this. I mean, that's 40 years worth of wear right there, so that probably go another 10 or 15, I would think. We'll see. Now to take apart, you got several bolts in here. So there's 2 there, 2 there, and 1 there. Now, some of these might have a nut on the back side, so you have to check that. There's 2 here, 2 over here, and 2 on the end here. There's also 1 over here with the bolt and nut over here. Just be careful that you don't miss any of them. There's a staple bit on there. Might be best to do like a crisscross pattern, like head bolts, so they're taking the pressure off evenly. You also should take reference of the length of the bolts too. I guarantee this one's longer. So yeah, it's almost twice as long. Already I got 3 different lengths of bolts. The short one came out of here. The real long one came out of here, and the medium length one came out of here. Okay, I got all the bolts there. So here's all of them. Don't lose any of them. Now we'll get ready to split it apart. This is your selector here. It works just like in a vehicle. You see there, it'll be one direction. You change it over here, and it'll be another direction. One of these spins one way, and the other one spins the other way because the gear spins like this one. That's how that works. I'd probably be best to keep it in neutral, I would guess. That's the way it was when I took it out, and that way you don't have to worry about anything getting out of line or anything. And you don't want to lose this ball here. I watched a few videos on YouTube talking about be sure not to lose that ball right there, because that's what gives you notches in each gear like that. These are your bearings here. see here. They just come out and you put a new one in. There's your seal right there beside it. I'm going to try to get as much of the old grease out of it as I can. That way it's all nice and clean when I put it back together. But there's some of the original grease, as you can tell. It's pretty thick stuff. And looks like most of your grease just gets slung off of it after years of use. So there's your gear I was talking about that goes in between here. And you can replace these gears. They're not cheap, but you can replace all these. But all these look fine, so I'm not going to worry about that. The only thing I'm going to be replacing is this bearing, this one, and this one, and the two on this. That's all I'm going to be doing. Okay, I guess the first thing I'm going to do is just lift this whole assembly right out of here. This is your differential. The differential gears are inside of here. Set that off to the side. And try to figure out the best way to get this out. Guess I'll go ahead and get this arm out. Get that out of the way. And this goes in and hooks right there on that side of this. See, it's got a groove stuck in there, just screws in there like that. You can buy these too. Just about all these parts are replaceable, but they're expensive. Comes out like that. There's all your old grease. Like I said, most of it looks like it just gets slung off the gears and it just sits there doing nothing pretty much. It's all in there. I'm going to clean all this out as good as I can. And also, talking about this little ball here, don't lose it. There's also a spring in the top part of the casing. So there's a spring right down that hole right there. Now on some of these, there's a screw on the backside that you can take apart. According to that video I watched on YouTube, there's a screw on some of them that you can take out, and you drop this ball in, then you drop the spring in and put the screw back in. This one's not like that, so you got to put it all together as you're assembling it, which will probably be a little tricky. Well, I got the housing cleaned up about as good as I'm going to get it. I tried to keep the cleaner out of here, so I didn't want the cleaner to run down into the bearing there, because I'm not taking all this apart. It should be alright. And I got it cleaned up pretty good. See, I didn't detail it. Also, on this one, I don't know if it's just this one, but there's a real sharp place right here, and it'd be very easy to cut your finger on. This is your brake caliper here. You can see how that works there. Looks like I should have bought new pads. Looks like a piece of wood, don't it? But it should be alright. You can also buy that disc. You can buy that. I'm going to clean this a little bit too. And I'm going to clean up the selector arm and the outside of the differential. You can see past the gear, you can get into the gears and everything is. I'm just going to shoot as much grease up in there as I can. That should be alright. Because it's a pain. I'd imagine it's a pain to have to take this whole thing apart. This gear bolts on here somehow, and you got to take that whole housing apart and all that. So we're just going to do it like that. This should be alright. I don't think there's nothing wrong with the gears anyway, so I'm just re-greasing that. But these bearings, this one here on the inside, is actually still good, so I'm going to keep it. This one over here is completely shot. Look at that, it's not even doing nothing. And same for the other side. That one's still good. And this one on the end, got just let me zoom in so you can see it. Just a little bit of play, not too bad. You could probably get by with that, but I'm going to go ahead and replace it anyway since I bought all the parts. I'm going to replace these too, of course. And well, I went ahead and took the, I guess you call it, I don't know what you exactly call all this, but this is your speed selector here. And it goes in between them. I took all this out and got as much of the grease out of it as I could. I'm going to go and get this put back together. You could probably skip this if you wanted, but I just thought it'd be best to get as much as I can out of it. Okay, now I'm going to put this together. There's some grease here, pump it out of the grease gun in there. First thing I'm going to do is just put a little bit over here, like this. good. I'm going to take this gear here. Get 3 washers, the way this one is. Some washers on there. Doing this so the grease gets smeared around evenly on there. And we got a funny looking Woodruff keyway here. Keyway serves 2 purposes. It lines up the selector here, and it also keeps the space even between the 2 gears in there. Get some more good. Let me clean this off a little bit. Down here, I put quite a bit here because the part's used every time you switch between forward and neutral and reverse. I'm going to make sure there's plenty of grease down here just to make sure it's all right. And I don't think it matters which way this goes in. Let's see here. The keyway lines up. Didn't have it in there all the way. Just like to have plenty of grease and everything like this. Make sure that's working smooth. Now, get your second gear on here. We'll put it on the gear here in a minute. Just like that. There's that. We got a washer that goes on here. We got the bearing here. I've got to open up the right bearing for this. Okay, your bushings here are different. You see the different lengths. I'm referring to this as part number 46 right now, because that's what it is on the diagram. I got them right down here. I'll put in a little bit of information here on the screen here for the actual part numbers. This is 46 and 14. Now I'm going to grease these up a little bit here. Okay, the flange faces in. Something like this, you can never use too much grease, so this one's going to slide on here. Notice I'm spinning each one like this, the way I'm just for sure that the grease is getting worked in there evenly all the way around there. Okay, now we can go ahead and put the brake disc back on. We have a Woodruff key here. In the shaft. This goes on like that. That's this whole assembly right here.